I'm Jolene Wynn, and this is the Porn Addict's Wife podcast, episode number 256. If you don't look like what he's watching. If your husband is struggling with a pornography problem and you want some help with it and you are not finding the resources that you like, you are in the right place. My name is Jolene Wynn. I am a certified life coach. I am an active member of the LDS faith, and I am the wife of a former porn addict. And on this podcast, I am going to share with you the tools that you need in order to start your healing journey. This is where I'm going to show you how to dive deep into intentional living, how to rekindle connection with your spouse, how to manage all that emotional turmoil that you're feeling, how to break the addiction cycle that you have to your husband's addiction, and tell you all of the ways to do that and start healing. I am so glad that you're here, and I can't wait to get started. Let's go. Hello, my ladies. How are you? So good to see you guys. So good to be talking to you guys. I hope you guys had a great Easter weekend. It was lovely here. I love Easter weekend. We had an Easter egg hunt at my friend's house. It was so hot here in North Carolina, and that's great. I love that we can have nice weather while we're doing an Easter egg hunt, but it was a little warm. But it was lovely. And then in church, we had a beautiful meeting. We had a meeting. It was all musical numbers. And then our bishop, our leader of our congregation, got up and he was talking about, he was talking about when Christ was resurrected, and he was talking about Mary Magdalene and her point of view and her perspective. And I just had so many thoughts from that just really struck me. And one of them was, again, how often we are in the middle of our story. And I've talked about this so many times before. This is just a small little thought. Stay with me, ladies. Is that for all of those women like Mary Magdalene who were with Jesus and followed him and saw him get crucified, saw him die, and then they had probably what was the longest 36 hours ever, right? Or for however many hours, 40 hours, however many hours it was from the time that he was crucified on Friday night until Sunday morning. And that probably seemed like an eternity. And I know that there are so many of you who know what that's like, who know what it's like to be in the hours of just agony, where the minutes feel like hours and the hours feel like days. I mean, I can think of several days and weeks of my life that has been what it's felt like. It's just felt like an eternity in a very short amount of time. And that is because of all of the emotion, the grief, the emotional onslaught that we are taking in and carrying. And I also want to offer that in those moments that we hold hope for Sunday. Now, Mary Magdalene, when she went to the tomb, she didn't expect to see Christ resurrected. Maybe she did. I don't know. Maybe she really expected to see Christ resurrected, but I don't think so, because she got there and she was confused and she thought that Jesus was the gardener and that maybe someone had come and stolen his body. So she wasn't exactly expecting the scene that came to her. But even in that moment, there was still hope. And that's when Christ said her name and she recognized his voice and she turned to him and she addressed him and recognized him as her savior. And that is something that I always want to offer to each of you. I was actually going to do a whole podcast episode on this and I didn't, on hope, because that is something that is just so powerful. It's something that I'm actually going to be teaching next week in my Love Who I Am masterclass. I'm going to be talking a lot about hope and about how to hold on to that and how to create that in your life, and why it's so important. And one of the reasons that it is because when we act from hopelessness, when we engage in our life and interact in our life from hopelessness, that's when we feel very stuck. That's when our reality becomes more concrete. It's not because there isn't the possibility of change. It's because we've closed off ourselves to the possibility of change, because we think it's harder to hope for something that we don't know will happen. And I totally understand that. I mean, obviously it's not easy and it's not comfortable to work towards something that you have no guarantee of. And yet, how comfortable is it to sit there in something that you do have a guarantee of, as long as you continue in the way that you're going, especially one that is not what you want? So I just wanted to offer that I just was thinking about that, about hope. And I just wanted to offer that there is always hope, and that our hope is always not in, sometimes I think we think that our hope is in a certain outcome. And that's what we're trying to hope in. And instead, I want to offer that you put hope in your own transformation. And when you put hope in your own transformation, in your ability to adapt, in your ability to transform and create and see things differently, that's when hope is really powerful, because we have hope in something we can control, or in God. When you put your hope in God, that He can take control of the things that you don't. When you're willing to relinquish that, that is when true hope comes in. Anyway, that was just a nice little Easter thought that I had. And it kind of segues into my Love Who I Am masterclass, which is next week. Ladies, please come join me for this class. This is a masterclass I haven't been so excited about a masterclass in some time. I'm gonna put the link in the show notes. The Love Who I Am masterclass, this is going to be a 4-day masterclass. It's going to be taught live on Zoom. So this is going to be next Monday, April 28th through Thursday, May 1st at 12 p.m. Eastern every single day. I'm going to go live on Zoom, and I'm going to be teaching you how to actually change the way that you think and believe about yourself, so that you can feel proud of yourself, so that you can stop thinking negatively about yourself, so you can stop feeling like you're not good enough, which we're going to talk about today, so that you can actually learn how to take compliments, so that you can learn how to praise yourself, so that you can let go of regret, so that you can learn how to let go of how other people perceive you, so that you can stop people pleasing. All of these things, I'm going to teach you how to do these, and I want to encourage you to come. Again, it's going to be next Monday through Thursday. It's $99 to join for the entire week. You get access to all the calls live. You're going to get one-on-one help from me on all of those calls live, and you're going to get lifetime access to the replays. Plus, I'm throwing in 2 additional masterclasses for free. So when you register, not only will you get next week's class, but you'll also get the Confident Sexuality Masterclass and the How to Not Hate Your Body Masterclass for free. So you'll get all 3 classes, lifetime access to all of them, all for $99. Plus, you'll get to come join me for that class live, and I can't wait to see you there. The other thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that I am launching a very special little revamp of my coaching program, and I want to invite you to come. One of the number one questions that I get is, how long will this take? How long will it take me to start healing? How long will it take for me to learn all of this stuff? And here I finally have an answer for you. You guys ready? 6 weeks. I am launching a brand new little introduction into my program. It is called 6 Weeks to Healed, and it is starting on Monday, May 5th. So if you want to be part of that, all you have to do is, I'll put the link in the show notes. You sign up for the lifetime access membership. It's $4,500 if you sign up for life, so you get access for life, and we're going to kick that off with the 6 Weeks to Healed program. I'm going to lead you through the first 6 modules of my program. Each one of those is designed to teach you a specific skill. My process is a very simple 6-step process, which is why it takes 6 weeks to heal, because there are 6 steps that I will lead you through, and that will be, again, starting Monday, May 5th. And you will be done those 6 weeks before your kids even get out of school, okay? You're going to get done by June 9th. I think it's the first week of June is the time that those 6 weeks are over. So in order to have a beautiful summer, if you're ready to just take this and dive in and concentrate for 6 weeks to give you the ability to learn all of those tools that are going to enable you to heal and move forward, this is it, okay? I'm opening 6 spots, 6 women, to lead you through the 6 weeks to healed. You're going to come, you're going to join my program. You're going to have the 6 modules that you're going to be led through. You're going to have all the group coaching calls, and then you'll have lifetime support after that. So again, I'll put the link in the show notes. You guys can sign up for that today and go ahead and get started. Okay. I want to talk to you guys today about if you don't look like what it is that he's watching. Okay. This is something that I get all of the time, and I completely understand this because I was once upon a time. Most of us don't look exactly like what our husband is watching online. We don't look quite like the women. We don't, whether that's a hairstyle or a body trait, or even just the fact that we don't have professional lighting and makeup artists who are making us look great all of the time, and filters and airbrushing and all of these things. We're not the professionals. And so we often don't look like what it is that he's looking at. And I wanted to bring this up because it's something that's been coming up a lot. And I just got off a one-on-one with one of my clients, and we were processing this. And one of the biggest things that it brings up, ladies, is comparison. It brings up all of our insecurities. All of the things that we've been struggling with for the last however many decades since we were 9.5 and we realized that our pants didn't fit and somebody poked us in the stomach or whatever it was, all of our little insecurities that we have, all of our favorite physical insecurities, these are the things that get brought up when we don't look like what he looks like. Because our brain thinks it has to be either or. Our brain thinks that, okay, how is it possible? It doesn't understand logically how he can say that he is attracted to us and likes our body and is attracted to our body, but then is also looking at other things. So our brain thinks that there must be a discrepancy. Our brain thinks, okay, one of these can't be true. Okay, either, okay, he's completely satisfied with me and so he won't look at anything else, or if he is looking at other women, then it must be because there's something that I'm lacking. There must be something he doesn't like. Does this make sense? And it brings up all of our insecurities. So we have all of our favorite insecurities that we've had forever, and we start to just see those over and over and over. Now, what's fascinating is those are the things we're used to. We're used to feeling insecure about certain things. For instance, I'm very used to feeling insecure about the size of my arms and my stomach, okay? Very used to feeling insecure about certain things. But what's fascinating is that if he's looking at things that are not like you, it can also bring up the things that we were confident about, and we can feel a little blindsided by those, okay? Like, let's say you're really confident in your booty, okay, or your legs, and then he starts looking up other people's booties and legs, then all of a sudden that can almost hit worse because you're not used to it, right? It's like we have our certain insecurities. It's like, okay, well, I'm used to feeling insecure about my arms and about my chest. So him looking at other women's arms and chests, like, not my favorite, but I get it. Like, I'm used to feeling this way about myself in this particular area. However, if you're confident in this other area and he's looking at other women there, it can almost hit you harder because you aren't expecting it. It's coming from a side that you were not prepared for. It's like, I got all my armor built up for these other areas. I was completely vulnerable on this side because it wasn't something I felt like I needed to protect. And so all of a sudden we almost feel worse. Does that make sense? So this is what's going on. I just wanted to bring this up. I know you guys are like, oh my gosh, I totally understand because you're feeling this. But I want you guys to notice that your husband didn't create your insecurities. And he is not the one that's creating them now. Now, does that excuse his behavior? No, it does not. Does it mean that what he's watching is okay? No, it does not. But I want you to recognize and understand that the reason you're feeling the way that you are about your body right now is because of the thoughts that you are having. The thoughts that you're having that you wish something looked different, that it must not be good enough for him, that maybe he's thinking that it might be thoughts that you're having about what he's thinking. Does this make sense? That you don't have a big enough chest, that you should look different than you do. Okay? And as long as those are your thoughts, then you're going to feel like you're lacking, like there's something wrong with you. And this is really important and powerful to understand because even if he changes his behavior, if you don't change your thoughts, you're still going to feel the same way. Like my client that I just got off the phone with, her husband has stopped watching pornography. He's not looking at anything and she still feels this way. Why? Because she still has the same thoughts about what he looked at previously. And it's up to her and 100% in her control to discover if she wants to let those go. And that's exactly what we did on the call, and it was beautiful and amazing. And we processed it, and I cannot recommend that enough to each of you to come work with me so I can help you do that, okay? But we processed it, she was able to let it go, and that's what I want to offer to each of you. Until you recognize that these thoughts are what's creating your feelings, you're going to be tempted to want to blame his behavior. Now, is his behavior the thing bringing it up? Again, yes. However, if we're just blaming his behavior and wanting his behavior to change so that you can feel better, you're going to constantly be fixated on changing his behavior. You're going to be obsessed with him changing his behavior. And then even if his behavior changes, you will still feel the same. Okay. And I know this, I did the exact same thing. I thought for years there must be something wrong with me, right? I lost weight. I changed my hair. I tried to be what I thought my husband would think was more attractive. And I did so trying to get in the hopes that maybe then he wouldn't go look. Okay. But again, it's a misunderstanding of what it is that they're searching for. And I want to bring this up because even though this is not, because I want you to see that this is not a logical solution. Okay. If you have trouble, if you're like, I don't look like what he's looking at, and your brain says, okay, well then let me try and change myself. Your brain is doing that out of a false sense of control. Your brain is doing that out of an attempt to try and change yourself enough so that he will stop looking at whatever he's looking at. But that is not the reason he's looking. He's not looking at pornography because of you and how you look. He's looking at pornography in a way to escape whatever it is he's feeling emotionally, okay? And we want, even if we understand this logically, it doesn't change our emotional response. Does this make sense? He is searching out whatever it is that he's searching. And most men, quite frankly, ladies, don't even remember the things they've seen. They don't even remember the things that they've searched, which is fascinating because I could tell you exactly. All of the things that my husband has told me, he doesn't even remember telling me. I remember the exact phrases, the wording, all of the things. And I know so many of you are the same. You're like, I know exactly what he's looking at. So many women have gone and looked at what their husband was looking at because they wanted to know, okay? So there are so many of you guys who are holding on to things he's seen, the phrases he said, things that he said that he's liked, things that you infer that he likes. And I want to offer to you that you let that go and recognize that his reaching out for those things isn't about those things themselves. It's not about what the women look like. It's about the dopamine. It's about just getting to the next image. It's about getting a distraction, something that's distracting enough to get out of however it is you're feeling. Does this make sense? And I want you to understand that logically so that you stop trying to solve this in your brain. Okay? Because if you're sitting here trying to solve this in your brain, trying to solve how you feel about yourself in your brain, it's not going to work. Okay? This is not a logical response. We logically know it has nothing to do with us. Logically, we can see it's a dopamine cycle. Logically, we can see that he could just as easily reach out to drugs or to gambling or to, alcohol or whatever it is. We can logically see that. And yet emotionally, it doesn't make us feel any better. Emotionally, we still feel like, what's wrong with me? Maybe if something were different about me, maybe if I had bigger boobs, a smaller butt, no cellulite, whatever it is that we think would be better, then maybe he would stop. And again, that's our brain going off of our own insecurities and going off of a false sense of control. Our brain would rather think negatively about ourselves, believing that there's something wrong with us, in the hopes that that means we can change it and fix it, rather than let go of this idea that it has nothing to do with us, rather than let go of the idea that we're not good enough. Our brain does not want to let that go because then we're admitting we can't do anything about his behavior. Does this make sense? It's one of the reasons why our brain tries so hard to hold on to this idea that we're not good enough, this belief that we're not good enough. We would rather sit in this misery of believing we're not good enough if it meant that there is a sliver of possibility that we can change something that will alter his behavior. It's much harder to sit and acknowledge that that has nothing to do with us. It's not ours to take. And to let go of the belief that we're not good enough. We would rather sit in this misery. And I know it sounds crazy logically, but emotionally, I know y'all are here with me, right? Because if it's true that something's wrong with us, then maybe we can change it. This is why we perpetuate this so much. The other reason why we perpetuate this so much is because we have a long-standing relationship with it. We have been believing that something is wrong with us for a really long time. After all, that's what insecurities are, right? It's saying, I wish something about me were different. Why? Because it's not good enough how it is. My thighs should be smaller. My skin should be smoother. My forehead should be a little bit smaller, thinner, whatever it is. My eyebrows should be thicker. We have been looking at ourselves and critiquing ourselves and finding ourselves lacking and not good enough for so many years that is what is more comfortable and familiar than the possibility of letting it go. We would rather believe there's something wrong with us than let it go, because that feels more uncomfortable. Isn't that crazy? When you're looking at this logically, it makes no sense. And yet emotionally, that's where we are. That's what we have been programmed to do. Okay? So I want to offer this to you because if you're trying to solve this in your brain, I need you to stop. It is not going to be solved in your brain. This is something that has to be processed emotionally. And what it looks like is actually acknowledging that there's part of you that wants to hold on to this. There's part of you that is perpetuating this belief that you're not good enough. And it's also being willing to let it go. It's being willing to release something that feels comfortable and feels familiar, even if it feels heavy and dark and depressing. It's what we know. It's what our brain wants to go back to. And that's what our brain will always want to return to, is the thing that feels familiar. And so it's up to us to actually change that. And the reason why this is so crucial and why I wanted to hit this today and why I wanted to really encourage you guys to take a look at this is because it's emotionally hitting us at the core of I'm not enough. And here's what happens. This, if we perpetuate it, if we don't change it, which is why I'm teaching a class on this next week that all of you should come join, okay? If we don't change this, it causes a ripple effect and it damages not only your relationship with yourself, but also your relationship with your spouse. And there are several ways that it does this very clearly, and I want to go over just a few of them, okay? Number one is it increases your distrust of your husband. Even if he is doing everything right, if you are constantly perpetuating this idea of I'm not good enough, then no matter what he does, he will never be enough. His actions will never be enough. He can never say the right thing, do the right thing, act in the right way that will change it and make you trust him. Because now you don't trust him. Because now you're constantly comparing what he's saying now to what he said before, to the things he's doing now to the things he said before. Okay, you're constantly going to be comparing, okay, well, yeah, you say I'm beautiful now, but you said that before and you were watching porn then. Or yeah, you say you're attracted to me now. However, I have it on good authority that you were attracted to all kinds of other women and seeking them out on the internet, and so I don't know which to believe. Okay, your brain is going to be in a constant state of distrust as long as you're harboring this belief that you're not good enough based on I don't look like what he's looked at. And let's just throw this out there too, ladies, is that you wouldn't like it any better if he were looking at women that look just like you. If he were going online and typing in your exact physical specifications and looking up other women who looked just like you, it would be equally heartbreaking, okay? In fact, maybe even a little creepier, okay? We don't want him to look at anyone else. So I want you guys to notice this fallacy in your brain, because our brain wants to say the reason that I'm so upset about this, the reason that I feel like I'm not good enough is because he's looking at women that don't look like me. You would feel this way even if you were looking at women who looked exactly like you. It's not that they don't look like you, it's that he's looking at anyone else at all. And it's bringing up your own stuff, this own belief that you have that you're not good enough. Okay? And this is important to recognize because it starts to break up that evidence in your brain that the reason that you feel this way is because of what he was looking up. No, you feel this way because this is a belief you've been carrying around since you were 11. This is just what's bringing it to the surface. Again, don't condone his behavior. Don't want him to do it. Wish he would have stopped and never started, okay? However, this is our opportunity to bring it up and to take a look at it. Because even if he changes, this can still live inside of you. And all of you who are listening whose husbands have stopped doing whatever behavior it is that they were doing and you still feel the same way, this is why. It's because his behavior didn't create it. It's just bringing it to the surface. Your thoughts are what have created your feelings, and you've believed them for so long, you've thought them for so long that it has become a core belief that now is our opportunity to look at and to change, which is why I'm doing this masterclass next week, which is why you should come join me for it, okay? We can change this once and for all, okay? And again, for so many reasons. Number one is that it increases the distrust. If we don't change you and we don't change what you believe about yourself, you're always going to distrust your spouse, okay? Because you're not going to believe anything that he says or does, because it's constantly going to be compared to this belief that you have that you're not good enough. You're not going to be able to have it resonate. Even if he tells you he loves you, even if he tells you that you're beautiful and that he's attracted to you and he's not looking at anyone else, you're not going to trust him because it doesn't resonate. Okay? Does that make sense? The second thing is that it increases your anxiety around other women, whether or not he's with you or whether or not he's with you, okay? And so many of you guys I know struggle with this so hard, is feeling so anxious around other women because, again, your brain is comparing you to other women. Your brain is comparing so that it can confirm this belief that you have about yourself that you are coming up short, that you're not good enough, that she's prettier, that that person is more attractive, that you should look like her, that you should get your life together because she has 5 kids and you only have 3 and her body looks great and yours should be better and you should work out more. And all of those kinds of thoughts all are underlining this idea that you're lacking in some way, that you're not good enough, that you should be doing more than you are right now because you're not good enough. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's all very sneaky, and yet we're so accustomed to it that we don't even see it anymore. And when your husband is addicted to porn, we think of it, this is just how you have to live the rest of your life. You just have to be anxious 24/7, especially around other women. It's why you don't go to the beach. It's why you're not going on a cruise. It's why you hate going to the park. It's why you always want to wear a sweatshirt even when it's 85 degrees outside. It's why you don't want to be around your friends. It's why you've limited your friends. It's why you don't want to go to church and put on a dress because you don't have anything that you feel comfortable in. You don't want to sit next to your spouse. Heaven forbid he's with you while you're around any of these people. It is debilitating, whether or not your husband is around you. Okay? And that is what is getting perpetuated when you have this belief that you're not good enough. Okay? The other thing that happens is it increases your insecurities. All of those insecurities that you already had, those are coming to the surface, like I said before. Okay? It didn't create them, but it is bringing them to the surface. And so all of a sudden, that's where we're operating from. We're operating from this identity of our insecurities, okay? It's what we're constantly having in the forefront of our minds because, again, we all want to change them, okay? If I'm operating from I'm not good enough and still operating under the impression that if I change something, then maybe he will stop watching porn, then my brain is going to say, okay, well, then I need to constantly think about my insecurities. I need to constantly think about what I need to do to change so that I can change it. And it thinks it's being really helpful, okay? It thinks it's solving a problem. It's like, oh, okay, great, right? And if it were true that your husband's pornography problem was because of what you looked like, then I would say, great, all we got to do is like get you in shape, change your hair, find out what exactly it is that he's attracted to, and boom, like no more problem. But as you guys know, especially those of you guys who've tried this, that doesn't work, okay? So what your brain is thinking is, okay, this is the problem. My husband's pornography problem, that needs to be solved. So let me go ahead and change everything about myself. Let me just bring up all the things I'm insecure about constantly so that I can work on them. This is not helpful. All it does is, again, make us more anxious and compare ourselves to other women. And it just makes us feel really insecure and really self-conscious. And it perpetuates that toxic self-negativity spiral that we have going on in our brains. The way that you talk to yourself in your head, all that negative self-talk that you have, that's what's getting perpetuated by this belief that you're not good enough. This, I don't look like what he looks like at online. Okay, I don't look like these other women. And whether you're comparing yourself to people he's seen online or people you see in real life, if your thought is, I don't look like what they look like, and not just that thought, because if your thought was, well, I don't look like what they look like, and you're like, well, it stinks to be them because I look amazing, right? It's not, I always tell my clients this, it's not just the comparison that's the problem. It's that you find yourself lacking. Because again, if you compared yourself to everybody around you and you were like, I look amazing, all these other people are a 3 and I am a 10, okay? Then that would not be a problem. It would actually be great. That's not what's happening. Instead, you're comparing yourself to either things that he's seen online or what you think he's seen online, your ideas of what he's seen online, or other women around you, and you find yourself coming up short. And this is the problem, is that you find yourself coming up short because you believe subconsciously that you're not good enough, that there's something that you need to change about yourself so that he will stop. And your brain also thinks that if you change what you look like, if you change your insecurities, if you hyper focus on them enough, and maybe if you lose the weight and change your hair and wear better clothes or whatever it is that you think that you should be doing, if you change your body enough, then maybe you'll feel better about yourself. And that's also not true, because your body is not what makes you feel the way about yourself. It's your thoughts about your body. And this is why I added the How to Not Hate Your Body Masterclass in for free when you sign up for next week's Love Who I Am Masterclass, because they go so hand in hand. The thoughts that you have about your body create how you feel about your body. The thoughts you have about yourself create how you feel about yourself. And that's what I want you guys to recognize here, is that changing your body or your husband changing his behavior are not going to make you feel better. Not long term, not where it counts. Obviously, they'll take care of some temporary things, some surface level stuff, but all of that insecurity doesn't magically go away. And anybody here who's listening, again, whose husband has stopped their behavior knows what I'm talking about. Because if you still struggle with how you feel about yourself and your husband no longer looks at what he used to look at, this is why, okay? We have to change it from the inside out. We can't change it from the outside in, okay? And here's why this is why I'm so passionate about this, why I wanted to do this episode today, is because you are shrinking, ladies. If you continue to perpetuate this belief, it increases your anxiety, your insecurities, the distrust in your relationship, and it causes you to shrink into just a fraction or a shadow of yourself. You are the only person who gets to live with yourself your entire life. Your husband won't be there for your whole life. He didn't even come in until who knows when in your story. I didn't meet my husband until I was 17. I don't know which one of us is going to go first. Heaven forbid he passes away first, which I made him agree that I get to go first. But we don't have any control over this, okay? I'm the only one who gets to live with me for my whole life. You are going to live with yourself for the rest of your life, whether that's a week from now. Hopefully it is decades from now, ladies. But no matter how much time that is, do you really want to spend it as a shrunken, shriveled, very anxious version of yourself? A version of you who doesn't actually believe that she's worth as much as she is. a version who believes that she is actually always constantly coming up short and is always seeing evidence of how that's true. All of that is optional, ladies, and I want to offer that you take a look at this and you take it seriously. Another one of the thoughts that I had just in Easter weekend, and it might sound intense to you, but I wanted to bring this up, is that Jesus died for you. Whether or not you believe that is irrelevant to me. I believe it. Jesus died for you. And he loved you enough to do that. And that's what he talks about in the scriptures is, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. He died for you. And I know that there are so many of you who are parents or friends who would absolutely die for their children, die for their spouse. You would die for your best friend. You would die for your parents. Would you die for you? Do you love yourself enough to be your own friend? It's a fascinating thought. So many of us don't think of ourselves in quite that way. We think of ourselves as loving other people more. I mean, I certainly do. I'd be like, oh, no hesitation. Absolutely die for my husband, my kids, my family, my friends. Absolutely I would. Would I die for myself? I don't know. Do I love myself that much? And here's what I'm offering to you, ladies, is you don't have to die completely. But are you willing to let die the parts of you that don't love yourself? Do you love yourself enough to give yourself the chance? Because there are parts of you that do need to die. The part of you that has full of self-loathing. The part of you that's full of self-judgment. The part of you that believes she's not good enough. I think it's time for her to die. It's time for her to be let go. It's time for her to be released. Do you love yourself enough to do that? Do you love yourself enough to let go of the parts of you that are no longer serving you, that won't take you to where you want to go? Do you love yourself enough to do that? There have been so many people in your life that would absolutely, without hesitation, do that for you. But they can't do this part for you. Only you can do it. Do you love yourself enough to give it a chance? I love you enough to teach you how to do it. I love you enough to show you every single week how to do it, to show up next week, to do this class, to teach you exactly how. And I'm asking you to love yourself enough to give yourself the chance. Say yes, come work with me next week, because the way that you believe about yourself right now is not how you have to believe about yourself for the rest of your life. And I want to teach you exactly how to change it. I love you so much, enough, that I'm going to tell you that part of you needs to die. I'm going to teach you how to do it. All you have to do is come say yes, because I love you that much. I love you so much. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully in the Love Who I Am Masterclass. So take care. All right, ladies, if you are loving what you're learning on the podcast, I want to invite you to take the next step and come join my Lifetime Access coaching program. This is where we take everything that you're learning on the podcast and I help you personally apply it so that you can create a true transformation. This is where you're going to learn how to actually process that emotional pain and finally let it go so that you can be free from it once and for all. This is where you learn how to become in control and confident in facing the future so that you never have to worry about what happens next. Head to my website, jolenewind.com, and sign up today. You will get lifetime access, and I'm going to help you one-on-one on all of the calls. I can't wait to see you there.